See, every lesson in life gives you more wisdom than knowledge. Okay, what I was taught, listen, you can always respect your elders. You may listen to them, and they may sound a little crazy on an example they're giving you, but they got wisdom and knowledge. They lived through it. So always respect that wisdom and knowledge, and you're going to learn from it. All of these lessons, it's what's made Jimmy Burchfield, Jimmy Burchfield. Do not bring something to me. What is the solution to fix that? That's embedded in me. I never want to not know how things are running and how things are running in 2030.
Yep.
I want to kind of prepare for that.
And I think that your generation, my generation, because we didn't have that technology, we had to develop those values.
Yeah.
Right? One of the big things is the interpersonal communications between two people.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. All right, Mr. Burchfield, so welcome to the podcast. So we're going to talk about your life, but you've been in a restaurant business, you've been an entrepreneur, a boxing and MMA promoter. You're basically like the P.T. Barnum of Rhode Island. Is that fair?
Thank you very much.
Yeah, better looking too.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so let's just start with your childhood, right? And from all accounts, I heard it was difficult. Can you tell me about that?
Sure. Well, my parents were great parents, my mother and father, and but you know they come from humble beginnings. And actually, I was a pretty damn good baseball player. I was a switch-hitting shortstop that could hit with power from both sides and throw you out behind third base. So I wanted to be a Major League Baseball player. But when I became in high school, I had some scholarships as well. But I look at my family and say, I gotta go to work. I gotta make some money. I gotta help my family. And that's what I did.
And why did you feel like that was the route that you had to go?
Well, I could see how hard my family was working and sometimes hard to even put food on the table. And I wanted to help. They were such great people. I wanted to help. So I decided my grandfather owned a demolition company, building wrecking company called International Building Wrecking. That was my first job. We wrecked the whole building by hand. We saved everything, and then we resold everything.
Smart.
Yeah, everything, boilers, windows, everything. Secondhand brick, you couldn't get enough of it. My grandfather was a tough guy. Right from Italy, very demanding. He taught me what work ethic was. But I also, even with my athletes, work ethic has to be, you have to be born with it. You can't teach it. You either have it or you don't.
So from your upbringing, it was either like not a lot of money around.
No.
Is that fair?
That's good.
So a struggle for your parents. You kind of learned probably the people who have money and the people who don't have money.
Yeah.
Right. The difference between that. Do you think that shaped you in any way?
Oh yeah, positive.
Kind of with your drive.
Oh, positive.
Can you tell me about that?
Well, my first job was making $35 a week, and I gave my mother and father, my mother especially, I gave her $33.
What'd you do with the extra $2?
$2. I stretched it out as much as I could, you know. But my mother would. I love steak, and I love salad, and my mother would make sure that I had steak and I had salad and everything else. What did it molded me. It molded me to never lose your perseverance and never lose your goals that you want to make in life. And I think part of all of my success is from them early years.
Is that where you kind of learned that love is more important than money?
Yes, positively.
Because I would say if you didn't have that bond with your parents, like you wouldn't have gone to work
No.
to help them out. You would have went to the baseball route.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody would have blamed you.
And probably hung around in street corners with my friends. That's what they were doing.
Okay, so this kind of puts you on like the right road.
It set me up on a path.
Okay.
And in my life, I could have took there's quite a few different paths, bad paths that I could have taken.
What do you think kept you on the straight and narrow?
I had a guiding angel somewhere that showed me, listen, this is the way to go. Don't go this way. Don't go that way. This is the way to go. And yeah, so I know I had a guiding angel. I think it might have been my grandmother.
You think so?
Yeah.
Why do you think that?
I loved her so much, and she spoke 7 languages, and oh my God, I loved her so much. And she looked after me so much. My mother and father had to work. My grandmother and grandfather brought me up. Okay? And them morals, and them showing respect, showing loyalty. That's why that means, that's the first thing I ask one of our fighters. What does respect and loyalty mean to you?
Does that often stumble them up?
Oh yeah, it sure does. Yeah.
And we're going to go here for a second, but do you think that the generation now, so it's 2023, we're filming this, I think accountability, respect, and discipline are not prominent traits as they were, say, back 50 years, 40 years ago. Have you seen that?
I shake my head because I most certainly see it. And I think as parents, what happens is, especially in 2023 right now, is that, listen, I had to get dirty. I'm going to use it. I had to get in the sewer if I had to. Okay? The parents now make it very simple for their children. They teach their children how to struggle somewhat.
They should teach that.
Right.
Yeah.
I was taught that. Okay? So when you hit a block and you have a dead end, there's no dead end for me.
Yeah. And we spoke earlier just on the phone briefly.
Yeah.
And one of the things you were telling me is like your perseverance.
Yeah.
And being innovative in how, well, don't tell me I can't get it done. Let's figure out how we do get it done.
That's good. My grandfather would say, I don't like to use the word problem. I'd bring a challenge to him and then thank him. Well, do not bring something to me. What is the solution to fix that? Okay? That's embedded in me. So if you have something that has to be fixed in business, in life, personal or otherwise, you have to have a solution to it.
Yeah, and I think that's what will separate people who are successful
Yes.
and who are not successful.
Positively.
All right. So what made you open a restaurant? Was that your first business?
Well, you got to understand, even at the demolition company, an 18-year-old, I was running the business.
Okay.
So I've been running businesses since I've been 18 years old. I know how to make a payroll. I know how to get taxes. I know how no business person, unless you've been in business, would understand Friday's payroll, and I don't have the money to make it. You ever been there?
We've been close. We've definitely been close. Yeah.
Okay. So I know.
Yeah.
I know. Okay. But again, it just teaches you more. All right. So again, I think that the importance of business, the importance of perseverance, is you got to be through some hard times. Okay. And you got to be able. All in life is that. Man, you can hit a grand slammer at the end of the night, the bottom of the ninth inning, and win the game. Every day of your life that God gives you, you can do that.
Yeah.
It can happen. No matter how much the challenges are.
As long as you don't give up.
As long as you don't give up. That's the big thing.
So we're working at the construction company. We're now learning these skills, right? And now with business ownership, there's financing, there's managing people, there's like clients and leads and following up with them. Were you doing that so long that you had a certain set of skills where you're like, okay, now I'm going to go in this endeavor and open the restaurant?
I think that to try that, because this is the second time you're asking me this question, I didn't answer you the first time properly. What made me go into the restaurant business? Okay. Well, after I left my grandfather's business, International Building Merchant, I went to work with someone that was my second mentor in life. and it was Clarence Coutu from West Warwick. I know the Valley area in West Warwick so well. Clarence gave me an opportunity. He had one of the biggest building material, and this was before Lowe's and Homes or any of them. Home Depot was around. We had probably the biggest building material in all of New England lumberyard. And he taught me how to run that business. There's one little thing I'll never forget. As I was climbing up the ladder there, one of the first things he gave me was, I'm going to make you the paint manager. Okay? And I thought I was doing a big deal. I bought 3 trailers of paint, outside exterior paint. Every gallon I bought, I got a gallon free.
Sounds pretty good.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Business, bottom line.
Yeah.
The only problem was it was the end of the summer where we were going into, we go to June, July, August, September. We're going into September and October. Actually, October, November. Who the hell's going to buy exterior paint?
Yeah.
So here comes Aris Tap, and I'm so proud of what I'm doing. I'm displaying all the colors and everything. See, I said, oh, we're going to make a lot of money on this. Right? What do you mean? I said, this is what I got. Without any profit on each gallon, we got this. He said, it's October. Who the hell is going to buy exterior paint now? They're going to keep it till next year? He said, I'm going to give you 2 weeks to clear this up if you still want your job. I don't know how the hell they did it, but I did it.
Did you sell it or
I sold it. I sold it all.
Buy one, get one.
Yeah.
So did that teach you like a lesson about timing
Oh, yes.
and like inventory?
See, every lesson in life gives you more wisdom and knowledge.
Sure.
Okay, what I was taught, listen, you can always respect your elders. You may listen to them, and they may sound a little crazy on an example they're giving you, but they got wisdom and knowledge. They lived through it.
Right.
So always respect that wisdom and knowledge, and you're going to learn from it.
Yeah, I think for me, so obviously with doing the podcast, this is probably around like 50 episodes. And one of the reasons I started the podcast is to learn from the people that I actually interview.
Yes.
Right? Because
Yes.
it's good for me, it's good for them, it just speeds my learning up.
Oh, yeah.
And it allows me opportunities to network with people where, like, I remember Jimmy said this, timing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm never ordering paint in October.
Right.
And I think when we have these interactions with people in daily life,
Yes.
I think more than not, even it's the random person you talk to in like the Dunkin' Donuts, there's some lesson that can be learned there.
You're going to learn something.
Yeah.
And I feel, at my age, I feel cheated if I don't learn something new right now, every day.
Do you think that's one of the things that keeps you going? That mentality of like, I want to learn, I want to keep growing, I want to crush these challenges.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can see that.
I think that's part of it. And the other part of what helps me is I exercise every day of my life. Okay? You might think I'm crazy, but there's days I walk 9 or 10 miles a day. I'll go to Colts Park and walk along the ocean and do 9.2 miles. Okay? Now, I used to run that. I have a torn meniscus in my right knee, but I bundle it up. I do my thing, and it helps me mentally just as much as physically. You know what? I make a lot of business decisions on that walk.
Yeah. So I don't know if you know this, but I'm a physical therapist.
I know you are.
Okay. And so for me, I tell people in a fitness studio that people should work out every day.
Oh, yeah?
Right? Not only for the physical benefits, but the mental benefits of clearing your mind.
It's unbelievable.
And I know for me personally, like if I don't work out, I don't handle stress that day as well as I normally will.
You know what? I'm miserable if I don't work out. I really am. You can throw anything. If I have a workout, and I try to do it early in the morning, and as busy as it is, and Listen, I've been up to Lincoln Woods, which is a 2.5 mile walk right around the pond. It's a nice walk. At times in the pitch dark walking, because I couldn't get it in during the day, or at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock in the morning before my day starts, because I know I'm not going to get it in.
Yeah. So basically, what you're saying is you're making your health a priority.
It is.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And as a fitness coach and a physical therapist, not many people do that.
Yeah.
If there's one thing that I could tell people that, hey, this is what you should do above anything else, is make your health a priority.
Yeah.
And make the exercise time non-negotiable.
It's
right.
Good words, good advice.
Yeah, and I think, from hearing from someone like you who's successful, who's like, listen, I still work out every day.
Yeah.
And you don't have to run.
No.
And listen, any workout is better than no workout.
That's correct.
Right? So I think that's a huge secret that people just overlook.
Yeah.
So the restaurant.
Let me tell you how I got there. So now as I move along in almost 2 years, I'm the general manager of Kutu Cash and Car, one of the biggest lumber building material companies in all of the world.
So we went from the paint manager who was ordering paint in October.
Yeah.
Now the manager.
And he challenged me every different way. He challenged me.
What skills do you think took you from the paint manager to the general manager that you had?
I think one of the first things that happened there before the paint manager is that you have the marriage in the bigger lumber building material. You have a rail that goes right into your, like in other words, here's the main track, but you have an off exit. They drop you off a trailer, a train load of whatever it is. On the way back, that has to be empty, or you pay unbelievable merits on not being empty.
Okay.
So you got to get that empty. Okay. So the first day I went to work for clients, it was a very cold day, and it was finished lumber, 1x6, 1x8 finished lumber, which is expensive. And they got someone else from, like, they can call people looking for jobs, so they call, whether it be the union hall or where people are unemployed. So you don't know who you're going to get. So we got this guy up in the train, and he's handling this stuff back to me all upside down and everything. What I learned from International Building Record is how to get 6-8 pieces of that lumber straight, and you can unload it like that. Efficiencies. This guy's got it all upside down and everything, and we didn't get the train unloaded.
Is there a time limit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't get the train unloaded. So the next day, I said to Mr. Kutu, keep that guy home or whatever you want to do with him. I'm going to unload this car. I'll have it done in 2 hours. Impossible. I said, Mr. Kutu, I will have this unloaded in 2 hours. And I did. Okay? And there's other examples like that.
So that's a good point. Because if someone's an employee and they want to move up or get a raise or whatever, you have to make yourself so valuable to the business that the business owner doesn't want to lose you. That's the key, right?
I told my peer, listen. Tom Brady was a great quarterback. Okay, his ends, his line, everything, it all has to work. It's all teamwork. But when you get that end that when you call a set play and you're covered. So the play, you were supposed to go to the left, but that guy Brady knows you're going to go to the right now, and he's going to hit you.
Yep.
And that's what makes great. So when I get in any business that I run, up to classic entertainment and sports right now, if I get that damn star, and I see that person has the work ethic and can get things done, he's never going to leave me.
Yeah, he's an A player.
He's an A player.
Yeah.
And I'm going to take care of him as an A player.
Right.
So I think that, and it doesn't happen. It doesn't happen right now in 2023, even more right now. because people don't like to get their hands dirty.
Mhm.
All right. I may text somebody. I'll leave a phone message right now, and it might take 3 to 4 days before that person gets back to me.
Right.
Okay. But if that person's text, they'll get back to you in minutes.
Yep.
All right. If that person's email, their mind is programmed so much different. But if you take this technology of 2023, because it's great,
Yep.
okay? You get a GPS, can take you anywhere you want to go.
Took me here.
Right.
Yeah.
You can do things. So you need to be up to the times, and I've always tried. It's another thing that I never wanted to not know how things are running and how things are running in 2030.
Yeah.
I want to kind of prepare for that. So but you never can lose old school values.
Yes, and I think that, especially for your generation, my generation, because we didn't have that technology, we had to develop those values.
Yeah.
Right? One of the big things is the interpersonal communications between two people.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. And if you were born in the technology age, and now if you're younger and you went through COVID, you're missing that.
Yes.
Right? And even though we have all this great technology, at the end of the day, it still comes down to how do you interact with another person?
Yes.
Now, we could probably talk about artificial intelligence because they can make text replies now anyway.
Yeah.
Right? But we're still human, so we don't want to lose that human connection. Yeah, and I think as a business owner, business owners, if you can make yourself more valuable to the business than anybody else, you're going to be there a long time, and you can ask for whatever you want.
I went to the moon with Kutu Lumber. I went to the moon. So now,
We're going to the restaurant.
the first place I ever had a drink at was a place called Aris Tap Grill on Charles Street in North Providence, Rhode Island. Okay? The guy that owned it was a fellow by the name of Adi Ayaki. Okay? You got to pictures, visualize this. He had a white apron, but he was booking from this place too.
Okay.
Okay? But if he had a mahogany bar that he used to polish every morning. So if you ordered, whether it be a water or beer, a drink, he put it on a coaster. If you took it off that coaster, you got thrown out of the place.
What nationality was it?
He was Italian.
Okay.
So he took a great liking to me. And what we used to do, and probably you did it in your younger days too, is I'd meet up with my friends on a Friday night. We'd go there and meet at Ari's, and then we'd go out.
Sure.
We'd go to nightclubs or what else ever. But we always met there, okay? So I became so close to him, and he followed my career and everything, and I got a big job at this Kutu Lumber. I mean, I'm making 6 figures. I got pensions and everything. This man, he sent me to Dale Carnegie School.
Okay.
Okay? Which was one of the greatest things I ever did. All right? All my key people, I've sent to Dale Carnegie School.
Who wrote How to Win Friends and Influence People?
Yeah. And it was great. Up in Vermont is where they make this veneer, as you see now. It's not up to date right now. But in the days before, everyone downstairs in their basement had this veneer up. Well, he let me spend 2 weeks in Vermont showing how they cut the tree down, how it's dried up, and then how it ends up in the 4x8 panels. It was a beautiful experience. So when you talk about wisdom and knowledge and getting smarter, I'll challenge my grandchildren at this point. What did you learn today? Tell Pop what you learned today, because I want to see what you learned new today. Okay? They know I want to hit them with that question.
When you went to the Dale Carnegie, was it school? Was it a workshop?
Yeah, it was a school. It was a school. It lasted for I think 13 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And you know, one of the things I can remember, you might have 42 students the first day of the school. And the teacher would say, how many here think that in about 2 weeks, you're going to remember everyone's name in this class. I don't think one person raised their hand. Well, I'm going to tell you that in 2 weeks, you're going to know everyone's name in this class. And it's like, you know, if you took the name Burchfield, you put an affiliation with Field, Birch. In your professions of what you do, you know that.
Yeah.
You know. And damn it, I'm telling you, I think in 2 weeks there might have been one person. I think it was UTC, the bus lines was called UTC now. I forget what you call it right now, but
is it Peter Pan or
no? No, the one that goes all over Rhode Island. And then,
Greyhound?
No. It's city. It's
Ripta?
Ripta.
Okay.
That's it. Ripta. That's it. He was a supervisor, and you got to get up and say your name in front of the class. Then you got to be in the middle of a story. Say any story you want to say.
My story?
No, I'm just saying.
Because there was a time I got hit by a Ripta bus twice in one day.
Did you?
Yeah.
Wow.
But that's for another time.
Okay,
yeah.
but anyway, and you're in the middle of saying this day you got hit by the Ripta bus twice.
Backed into me, pulled up back.
And a bell rings.
Yeah.
Wherever you all left off, Jimmy Burchfield, I got to get up in front of the class and continue your story.
That sounds fun.
It is fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. I won. I was so intimidated to get up in front of people and speak. But see, Clarence seen. He says, I'm not losing this guy. I'm just going to make this guy smarter.
Yeah, fortify him.
Yeah, I'm gonna find ways to make him have more wisdom and knowledge. Because he's going to represent my company.
Sure.
He's seen it.
So was this, two things with that. I think that's important because everyone's favorite word is their name.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
But number two, so did Dale Carnegie make the curriculum for this school, or was it like people who read his book or were interacting with him?
He made I'm telling you, it's one of the best things I ever did in my life.
Yeah, because the book's amazing.
It's amazing. Yeah. But in person, it's even more amazing. I won 9 awards. They give you a pen, they give you your butt. But and that poor supervisor, it took him weeks to be able to get up and talk. Finally got it. Not 100%, but way better than he started.
Yeah. And it's about progress, right?
It's progress, yeah. So that was great. So anyway, I'm running this thing. I've got 140 people working for me. That's how big this place was. Because we not only sold, but we also had 3 divisions. We had a real estate, okay, that we developed condominiums and everything, okay. And then we had a building. We had the contract for all the dioceses of Rhode Island.
Okay.
Well, we handled all their property. So this was unbelievable, and I love it. I loved him. I loved the people I worked with. I finally got a real good team that I developed. We unload them trains, and then I take them out to eat. Okay? What do you guys feel like having now? And we go out and have pizza or whatever. And they would do anything for me.
Yeah.
Listen, this train has got to be unloaded in an hour. Okay? It's got to get done.
Well, if people like you, then they're going to work harder for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's, I was able to do that. All of a sudden, he takes a major stroke. And Aris Tap Grill. Can't talk. Can't do nothing. He wrote his wife a note. You need to go see Jimmy Burchfield. Okay? Nobody else. You need to go see Jimmy Burchfield. And she comes see me. And she says, I'm going to show you the note my husband wrote to me. I don't know anything about the business. It's been close since he took the stroke. And he wants you to run the business. Her name was Josephine. I said, Josephine, I've got a very serious job and responsibility and someone I love and respect. I can't leave them. I said, but I'm going to come there for my love and respect I have for your husband. And I'm going to find someone to operate the business. And I thought, and sometimes I'm sure it's happened to you, and it's happened to a lot of people, that you really think someone really knows what they're doing until you do business with them. And then you see their weaknesses. But on the outside, they look so strong and vibrant and intelligent. Well, I thought I had someone. I felt so bad. It was terrible. 6 months later, they destroyed the business, actually.
Did you feel responsible?
I felt responsible, okay? So responsible that I took it over.
Now, you're in the middle of two people that you respect and admire, let's say love.
Yeah.
How do you make that transition from someone who gave you this opportunity at the lumber yard and you're switching over? Was it just you felt just so bad and you had to make the switch to make it right?
Well, I tell you what's harder is because of my bringing up what loyalty meant, okay? My loyalty stood with Mr. Couture because of what we've been through and everything, right? So what I did, I had a meeting with my mom and dad. I went in this place and I completely cleaned it up. First of all, closed it because they let it go. I made this place look really good. And I said to my wife and my mother, you guys are going to run this during the day. Okay? I have one other guy I put with them. And I'm going to leave the lumberyard. I'm going to go home. I'm going to shower. I'm going to come and leave you guys. And I'm going to work. I don't know how I did it. I did that 2 jobs. I got out of work to go to work. Okay? For almost 2.5 years. It was good in one way. I didn't have to take a pay out of, and I did change it from Aris Tap Grill to the classic restaurant. Okay? Had some crazy names. I had friends of mine tell me, if you take this over, we'll never talk to you again.
Why?
The ceilings were falling down and you're on Charles Street. How are you going to make it here?
Which is not the nicest street in Rhode Island.
Right.
Yeah.
So how are you going to make it here? I said, after I digested everything, again, it was a challenge. You can't tell Jimmy Burchfield that he can't do something. Because I'm going to work harder to make it work.
Now, you said you met with your parents. Was it to help you make the decision to do this? Or?
Oh, no, I met with my mom and my wife to say, would you guys be up to doing this? Okay? And, if they weren't, because my mother, she's a great cook. My wife's a great cook.
Both Italian?
Both Italian.
Makes sense.
And we were a little checkerboard Italian restaurant. Like spaghetti meatballs, spaghetti and sausage. Nothing fancy, but good. Okay?
Some pastine.
And pasta on a Friday night, we do some fish and stuff, and what? I get out of work. I want to try to get them because they've been there all day, right? I go behind the bar all alone. I had not one member because I didn't want to spend the money because there was no money coming in.
Right.
No lease, nothing signed with Mrs. Ayaki. I spent a lot of money fixing the place. Okay? Just told me how much she wanted a month, which I paid her. Well, I have no protection. I have no lease, no nothing. The first maybe 6, 7 months, I'd be behind the bar at night. I probably ring up $4, $11. And maybe half of the $11 was I wanted to keep you there, so I bought you a drink. so So I didn't want you to sort of be somebody there.
Yeah.
Now, if you haven't been if you've never cooked or never been in the restaurant business, in the old days you had a grill. You know, like even the diners, they still have that grill. They cook the eggs on it and stuff. Yeah. Is it a job and a half to clean that grill at the end of the day? I'm telling you, it's a job. You gotta shine. I mean, it's really a hard job. So about 9:30 at night, nobody's at the restaurant. I close the grill and clean it, right? Who's gonna come in now? All of a sudden, these 3 or 4 nurses come in, dressed in white, and my entertainment was the jukebox I didn't want to. Once somebody came in, I didn't want you to leave because
you never come back,
right? So I go put quarters in the jukebox, try to play with the atmosphere.
Yeah. You're learning.
I'm learning. These girls would say, "Can we eat?" Yeah. I heard you got a good steak sandwich. I just cleaned the grill. So I get a frying pan and I make sure the rolls were big. So 3 or 4 items, but I made them good. You cannot believe that. Look, that was the 3rd shift at Miriam Hospital. Okay? They get out at 11 o'clock at night. 11 o'clock at night, I had the whole shift. A little bit at the time. All of a sudden, there are 30, 40 nurses in the restaurant. Now I had to bring in some help.
Sure.
Okay? I had to bring help to my mom and my wife during the day. I structured it.
So we're catching on now. We're catching fire.
Oh, we're catching fire big time.
Do you believe this is because you focus on the customer experience so much?
Yes.
Like you're spending money in the jukebox that you don't have.
Yeah.
To make sure that like.
The experience when you came in, you want to come back.
That's.
I don't care if I had to shine your shoes.
Right.
Okay. Never one time in my mind of leaving Clarence Cruiser. Okay? Never. This thing caught fire so big that I had to do an addition.
Of the building?
Yeah. I had to do an addition. No lease still. And it just got too big. It got too big that I sat down with Clarence and I said, "Listen, I need your help. I'm never going to leave you." I was actually in tears.
You can imagine.
I said, "I'm never going to leave you. But this is where I am. All right? This is how it happened. This is what I got. And you know what? Between you and I, it's not fair to you. Because I'm working until 1 o'clock in the morning. And I got to be at Columbia at 7 in the morning. It's suffering on both sides."
Sure.
He said, "I don't want to say this, but I have to. You gotta go." He said, "You gotta go do it." He said, "I could offer you more money, like I have, by the way, at least a dozen times, when I even thought of maybe you leaving here."
Yeah.
I said, "I know. I know." He did, right? I'll tell you what it means. I built my house. What I wanted to do was sell it. And I had X amount of dollars. It's 47 years ago. Okay? I get towards the end of it, and I need, it doesn't sound like a lot of money now, but I need maybe $8,000, $9,000, $10,000 worth more of material. And I said, "Clarence, I don't want to go to the bank and get a different mortgage. Right? I want to get this material and I'll pay so much a month." Right? And I did. And he said, "Fine." One day I go to work, maybe 3, 4 months, and all the invoices are on my desk. And he said, "This is my house gift to you."
Yes. Do you think because of that, here's what I like to understand, because you were so loyal, you were an A player, you kind of ran his business like it was your own.
Yeah.
this is the result. That's what happens later on in life when you take care of people.
Oh yeah.
Right? You help enough people, you can get whatever you want in life.
Positively. Listen. I try my best to make someone happy every day. Okay? And someone that really needs to be made happy. And I don't care if they know it's come from me or it doesn't matter to me. Okay? But I try to make someone, when I lay my head on my bed at night, I want to be at peace. Okay? So we've tried, and I've told my sons when they were growing up, listen, you need to help someone when they need your help. They don't need you when they're on top of the world, but they do need you when they need you.
Yeah.
If there's a death in the family, there's illness, that's when you got to really show your support to that person.
And that's what really being human means.
Yes.
Right? We're on this planet together.
Yes.
Nobody's getting out alive.
Right.
So if we're just helping each other live the best life we can,
yeah,
everything will be better.
That's it.
Right?
That's it's so simple, really.
Yeah.
Some people don't get it, but it's so simple. So, I stood at the lumberyard for 6 months till I got the right person to replace me.
Okay.
Okay?
So you didn't leave them high and dry.
No. And then I would go there once a week.
Okay.
All right?
When you didn't work there?
No. And I didn't want no money either. I just go there once a week to make sure everything was all right. And that's the relationship that we had. Okay? And it was, but it's all of these lessons.
Yeah.
It's what's made Jimmy Burchfield.
Yeah, and I think that's an integral part of your character.
Yes.
Which is why you can interact with so many people.
Yeah.
And people like you.
Listen, I don't care whether you just got out of prison or you just got your MBA at Harvard University. I'm going to be able to converse with you.
Yeah. And you're still a person.
Not at one time, I couldn't, but now I can. Okay? And I can do it enthusiastically. I can do it with merit behind it because I'm a good people leader.
And do you think you generally like people?
I love people.
Yeah. And that makes a big difference, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I think you generally love people if the interactions that you have with people are nice, they're good, they're invigorating, they're stimulating.
Listen, the easy part, the hard part is when you like people, you treat them wonderful, and then they do something bad.
What happens then?
I can turn you off where you're not going to want to be my enemy. Okay? When I've given you everything, and it's all been a fraud, okay, then I'm going to be your worst enemy.
And is that because you feel betrayed? You're mad because you read them wrong?
Betrayed is the word. Not reading them wrong, because that's going to happen.
Right.
Although, you know what? I've been rewarded with a sixth sense. It's unbelievable. I can really see things before they're going to happen. It's amazing, right? I can really talk with you, converse with you or anyone, and by your body language or anything, I can read you. And I'm usually right.
Now, did you learn that from being a child or from running the restaurant when you had all different patrons come in?
I think all of it's been a lesson.
Yeah.
I think I learned it. Listen, when I say my family, I lived in the Chaparral projects.
Which for people who don't know,
They don't
low income section of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
Probably one of the worst.
One of the worst projects in all of Rhode Island, probably in New England. I teach how to handle myself. Well, you either had a fight at the projects or you get run over.
Right.
But all of this has made my character.
Yeah.
All of these lessons have made my character. You can't buy them. You can't buy these lessons. Okay? You can't.
I agree, and I think everything is perspective, whereas the same scenario could happen to somebody else, not named Jimmy Burchfield,
Correct.
and then they go through the same upbringing as you, they sell drugs,
Exactly.
They get arrested. They keep going back to jail.
Yeah.
So it's really all perspective and how you're able to mentally be like, okay, this did happen to me, but number one, it doesn't have to define me.
Yeah.
And number two, let me just find the lessons from that so I can become a better person.
There you go.
Right?
There you go. You know, and I am an underdog guy because I've been an underdog. So you have a better chance with me if you're an underdog, to be honest with you.
So why do you say you're an underdog?
Well, I think how many people have to live at Chad Brown Projects?
Not many.
Okay? How many people, my mom always wanted me to go to Catholic school. I went to St. Anne's, I went to presentation, I went to this. And I had to leave Rhode Island at some point in my life and go to High Point, North Carolina, where the kids at that time went to school with no shoes on. My mother dressed me up all day.
Now, why did you have to go there?
That's where my father was from, and that's where you know it just fell in, and consequently, it was so different. Seeing red clay, I don't know what red clay is. Even in people talking with their southern accent, looking or go on a bus where you want to talk about what's going on right now, where the black people had to go sit in the back of the bus, where there were water fountains, white, black.
Oh, because that wasn't like that in New England.
No.
Right, it was different.
No. And so here I am in North Carolina. I'm with a lot of redheaded kids, and I look like an ugly duckling. So they beat me up every night. I swear, they gang up and beat me up. I had to fight my way. I had to get the toughest kid and give him a beating. And that's how I measured that out. I despised this so much, I got a knapsack, went out the window, and was stumbling home from High Point, North Carolina, because I loved my grandmother and grandfather so much and missed them so much. I wanted to be back here. But I'm so happy I had these experiences.
Yeah. Then or looking back now?
Looking back now, okay, I couldn't be the person who I am.
Right.
Without them experiences, all of these.
When you bopped the big guy in the nose, did you get respect from that?
Oh yeah.
Was that a learning experience for you?
Oh yeah, big time. I actually became the king of the school.
Well, there you go, right? to be the man, you got to beat the man.
Yeah.
So the restaurant's taking off. We make the switch from the lumber yard to running it full time.
Yeah.
What happens now?
So now I turn the classic restaurant into a little Italian checkerboard, no matter how many additions I did, to Las Vegas. I do this renovation in 4.5 days. Okay? It's unheard of. You can't get a door changed in 4.5 days.
Especially not today.
Right. 3 8-hour shifts. And again, this comes from my wisdom and knowledge of running these businesses. 3 8-hour shifts around the clock. We closed on a Saturday night and had a grand opening that Thursday. From this little Italian checkerboard restaurant to Las Vegas. And at 12 noon, I'm still unloading stuff from the trailers. I'm talking everything. The outfits of the waiters and waitresses. It was just, you had to see what happened. The people would come in, they'd be customers of ours every Saturday night. They were there the previous Saturday, and they come back there. It should have been a Ripley's, believe it or not. They're walking into mirrors. I got this architect by the name of Joe Randine. Did an amazing job. With it. We had the hardest thing, not only in Rhode Island, all of New England. Okay? I mean, anyone came to the classic restaurant.
So I heard there was all walks of life.
Everything.
Judges, lawyers, nurses, mobsters.
Yeah, everything. You said it. right? And celebrities, you never know who's going to be there. You'd be Sugar Ray Leonard, Muhammad Ali, Dan Marino. I mean, Bumble Mancini. Damn, Rick Pitino, Lou Lamoriello, who was the hockey coach at PC then. I mean, we'd have sometimes it'd take you a month to get a reservation there.
So everything's going really well.
Terrific.
Terrific.
Spectacular.
Nothing lasts forever.
No.
What happens?
Well, remember that my love for boxing was always in the mix. Whether it be at the lumberyard, whether it be at the restaurant. Okay, I boxed. I did everything. I became a local judge. I mean, when I say I did everything, I carried water buckets in for fix a cut, wrap the hands, everything. Okay, and I become an international, a regular New England judge, boxing judge. Then I became an international boxing judge. I judged world championship fights all over the world. Okay? And, 23 years, 24 years of running a restaurant, it's a lot. And I was an on-hands operator. You want to talk what I learned on this wisdom and knowledge in 2023? You have the technology with your iPhone and everything.
You can automate a lot.
You can automate. You know what my automation was? My automation was a binder at the Major D's desk with your name in it on the B. Okay? 1 to 31 every month, even though we have some months, not 31 days. Okay? And it had to be taped off, checked off, you were in last night. And on your name, there was a D note with your special likings were.
Wow.
Okay?
And this is going back, and probably what you learned from Dale Carnegie.
Yeah.
That's right up that alley.
So listen, what table did you like to sit at? Who did you like as a waiter or waitress? What were your special likings? Leo Del Ricci from Twins Pizza, God rest his soul, he loved burnt garlic bread. When he sat down, he got burnt garlic bread. We need to say our own HVAC engineering and Warwick. He loved the hot peppers with the pepper seeds taken out and chopped up. Sat down and got that. Even when they cheated on me, they never got that anywhere else.
Yes.
Or Jimmy Burchfield, he loves the tallest wine glass that you can have. Not that he wants more wine, that's just what every liking when your birthday was, when your anniversary was. Now, this is not computerized.
How many clients did you have in this book?
Oh, a lot. A lot.
Yeah. A bit the size of like the Torah or something.
It was A to Z, and we did everything. We did. When you sat, you got a cheese dip with assorted crackers. At the end of your meal, you got fresh fruit. I got this from Las Vegas. There was this little miniature monkey that did the, what do you call it? Cymbals. That would clap the cymbals. So it's your birthday or anniversary, that monkey came to your table.
That's hysterical.
Okay?
Yeah.
Little cakes that were special occasion cakes. I used to, the bakers say to me, I can't keep up with you. We do like 200, 300 of them a week.
So let me ask you this question then, because this is a premium experience,
Yeah.
right? Did you make money at the end of the week?
Yeah.
Okay, so you were charging premium prices to deliver this kind of experience.
We did all tableside cooking. We're high end.
That's what I'm saying, because
we came from low end spaghetti and meatballs.
Yeah.
Now, when I look back at everything and say like Marchetti's restaurant, right? I wonder if I should have stood over here, right? Because then we go into a recession where I'm doing 300-400 people on Friday, Saturday night. During a week, we're not doing 10 people.
What year is this?
80, towards the middle of 80.
Okay, so people's disposable income is now restricted.
Kind of something like we're going through right now.
Sure.
with the interest rates and everything, but worse. Because when you go into a recession, and it was a bad one, okay? When I look back and say, Jimmy, this is when you had to put some people where you might have a weakness, whether it be numbers or budgets or something, or forecasts, right? No, I kept saying, we're going to turn this around. We're going to turn this around. We're going to get this back. Well, I just kept putting more and more money in.
So that sounds like you're an internal optimist,
Yeah.
which is good.
Yeah.
But it also sounds maybe like the ego got in the way,
Yeah.
and you didn't seek help when you needed it.
I was never going to close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go down with the ship.
You said the last thing. Seek help when you need it. During that transparent, I had someone come up with me and say, I'll give you $2 million for this business. Imagine, 11 years ago, $2 million. I closed in 7 days. No, I'm not selling this business.
Is that because it's your baby?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
No. So I look back at them kind of things, I think about it. It's like my advice with history and everything. If anything more, everyone that hopefully has an opportunity to listen to your podcast would say that when you need help, you gotta get it. You gotta get it expert help.
Yeah, which is a good point, because, my business was growing, and then we hit COVID.
Yeah.
And immediately, now I had read books,
Yeah.
I had done online courses. Now, obviously with technology, I can pay for a course online
Yeah.
and learn different skills. And I remember my ego, I was like, I got this, like I know what to do.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, what I should do is add more classes, right?
Yeah.
So we could have less people in the classes. And this guy, Alex Ramosi, who I was following, he had run a company called Gym Launch,
Yeah.
so fitness consulting business for fitness studios. And the first advice that he said, and he's a multimillionaire, was don't add more classes. And I go, wait a minute. So the guy who's already made it in this industry literally gave the exact opposite advice that what I think I should do.
Yeah.
At that point, I was, with the uncertainty of COVID and him saying that, I was like, I got to reach out. Yeah. And that's when I started getting business coaching, which
I'm glad you did.
Yeah. And the whole thing is, like, I went to college for 8 years.
Yeah.
I have a doctorate.
Yeah.
No one taught me how to run a business.
Oh, no.
No one taught me how to, deal with people. No one taught me how to, balance your weekly in and outs. And that's when my business changed. To seek help from people who had already been there.
Yes.
And it just fast tracks you.
Yeah.
Right?
Even when you talk about, and I compliment you that you basically went out and got your doctorate and you did your education. When I asked my grandchildren, they're all in college now, and I'm proud of that, is, have you ever had a class in budgets? Have you ever had a class how to run a business? And they all said no.
Right.
I said, well, you find a way to have a class in that. You find a way to do that. And another thing you find a way to do, you take as much marketing up as you can.
Sure.
Because that's what business is all about. Okay?
So I have two questions for you.
Yeah.
Do you believe that college is necessary today?
Positively.
Okay.
Positively. I listen. I think that can you make it without college? Yeah. But listen, I would, when I'm interviewing someone for a position, when they tell me their education, it puts a lot of things on their side.
Is it because of the discipline that it would require to complete a college degree, or because of the information they learned in college?
I think you can go to college, as you just said, and learn nothing.
Right.
Okay? It's to the individual, but having that certificate. Listen, I have one of my grandchildren is majoring in actuary. I had no idea what that is.
I still don't know what that is.
All right. It's where you can study it after what it is, but what is this? Because originally she wanted to be a dentist.
Yeah.
Why did you change? Actuary is numbers.
Okay.
Okay? Big time. And insurance companies and like there's not enough of them around. And there's not enough at all, the percentage of females not in it. It's when you get that certificate, it's a big number you're gonna start your career with.
Which is good.
Yeah.
Now you said that you also need to learn marketing.
Yeah.
So money follows attention.
Positively.
You can have the best product or service in the world. If nobody knows about it, nobody can buy from you.
No.
Right?
That's why marketing is so important.
Which is why I referred you as the P.T. Barnum of Rhode Island.
Yeah.
I think I coined that for you.
Yeah, I thank you. So
Yeah. No charge.
one of the things in my career at the building, when we put a full page ad in the Providence Journal, I learned, right? You want your ad, if it's a quarter of a page or something, you want your ad on the right-hand top corner of the paper. It's why? Percentage-wise, the eye view of a person, that's where they go. So learning them things about marketing,
Sure.
important, it's all important.
Now, there's a big shift to social media marketing now.
Yes.
Do you have people do that for you, or are you up to the times of?
I do a lot of it myself, but presently right now, I want to put a person in charge of that. Because it's where life is right now.
Right.
Okay? Do I agree with everything that's on there? Because listen, if I owned a restaurant right now and you put something up that I was at your restaurant last night, it was terrible, I don't even know if you were there.
That's true. Good point.
Okay? Or people will say, some of the things, this is what I'm cooking tonight. Or I'm in Florida on vacation. Yeah, it's fine. You're in Florida on vacation, I'll go rob your house now. So I think some of it is factual. I think some of it is not factual, but it's definitely. Listen, I just hired, and I launched, and I'm happy to do this. Our first female ring announcer in boxing. Right, you can get along good with her. She's a trainer, and she's a nutritionist, and everything, and she has 400,000 followers.
Sure.
Okay, 400,000. So I think that you have to know how to use them tools.
Right.
And again, we go back to what you and I just said a few moments ago, right? That, listen, if we're going to go to war or we're going to try to get to the moon, we need to put the most intelligent people together with us.
Right.
Okay? To get there.
Yep.
To go straight. Not veer to the left or the right. To go straight. So that's what I always try to do. I try to get stars. I try to get who I think is the best in whatever it is. It could be someone cleaning this office. I want the best.
Yeah, and you said that's a characteristic of your classic brand.
Yes.
That you want.
That's who we are.
For you, what's that drive to always be the best? When did that start?
I think that starts from being hungry in my early beginnings of life. And being outside in the winter, unloading a carload of lumber, where at the end of the day you can't feel your hands. Okay? Being outside, cleaning the bricks, taking the cement off the bricks so we could sell them at 3 cents each. And at the end of the day, it would take an hour or so when you got home to get your hands and feet back warm again. All right? I think all of that has been lessons that I wish everybody in life could have it. If you're overprivileged, that your family has a lot of money, uh, and it doesn't make any difference to them if they go out and the two of them and have dinner and it costs them $600 or $700 for dinner for two.
I think children need to struggle in some sense to learn those challenges.
You are so right.
Yeah. And I think if you are a child of somebody who has money, I think the best thing that the parents can do is teach you the value of money, make you work for different things, right? And so you understand the value of, like, listen, what do they say? Like, generational wealth lasts like 2 or 3 generations, then it's gone?
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're the grandchild of someone who has money, your parents have money, you have money, well, you can't make money.
No.
Right? You don't have the skills to actually add to the wealth.
That's correct.
And so eventually the well dries up.
Yeah.
You know? Some of the famous entertainers that you had at the classic restaurant before they were famous, anyone in particular?
When you say as an entertainer, you know, we had, there's one in particular, he didn't make it to like a Lionel Richie, but he sang just like Lionel Richie. His name was Ronnie Rose. He's in Las Vegas now on the Strip singing. And he started with me at the Classic. And he actually became, at weddings, you couldn't book him. He became so popular. And when he came to me, he's got like an old tuxedo and his shoes are not shiny. He had a tooth missing. He said, Ronnie, I'm going to make you a star. Please don't get mad with me. Okay?
Is this because you can read people?
Oh, yeah. I said, listen, you got to make an investment. Okay? You got to get a new suit. You got to come in with your shoes sparkling. You got to get that tooth fixed. I would suggest you fix your hair a little bit different, too. And you got to get a cordless mic. Because I don't only want you on stage, I want you to take this whole place over.
And that's like the experience.
Yes.
Yeah.
You take this whole place over. You get behind the bar in the other room. All right? And sing. You want everybody part of your show. Man, he become so popular. But when we talk about now when we get into the boxing and MMA.
Okay, so Ronnie Rose follows your advice.
Yeah.
He gets a following. He gets more famous.
Yeah.
Do you get a sense of pride from helping somebody reach those levels?
Positively.
How's it feel to you?
It makes me feel good because I think when someone has talent, sometimes they just have to be developed a little different.
Do you think sometimes people just need one other person to believe in them?
Yes.
For them to believe in themselves?
Positively.
Yeah. I think that's what we do as coaches.
Yeah.
Right? Or as a physical therapist or like mentors.
Yeah.
Where it's in you, and we all have self-doubt.
Yeah.
Right? But it's really about, Jimmy believes in me.
Yeah.
Well, if he believes in me, I stop believing in myself.
Yeah.
And then it's a self-prophecy, right?
Yeah.
Self-fulfilling prophecy. So how does his career go? He starts, everyone wants to see him at the Classic?
Yeah, and then he became so popular. I mean, he could have tripled. I'm talking, he could have told someone at a wedding, and I don't know what them costs are now. You want me to play your wedding? It's $20,000, and he would have got it. Okay, and after this development of being nobody and now being the most sought out entertainer in Rhode Island and kind of New England, he moves to Las Vegas. And I'm in Las Vegas at a fight, and I see his name up on the lights. It made me feel so damn good. And I definitely had to go see him, which I did. And he gave me a shout out.
Yeah.
Providence, Rhode Island, Jimmy Burchfield Classic Restaurant. The place was packed. And everyone's coming up to me after, and he came and sit with me. So to give someone that opportunity.
You changed his life.
I changed his life, definitely.
Yeah. Just by being nice and giving an opportunity.
Yeah.
Right? And it comes back to you.
Now, sometimes you can try to correct someone by telling them, listen, you got to move to the left a little bit or to the right, and they'll pay no attention to it.
Yeah.
Right? But when you get that person that has that talent and they're coachable.
Yes, good point.
You got to be coachable. Okay? There's and listen, I have at the classic restaurant, chefs, one, his name was Eddie Tolfi. He become the chef at the White House, cooked for 3 presidents. That made me so proud. Started as a dishwasher with me. Right now, I have a chef that started with me from Rhode Island. Started as a dishwasher. He's in Las Vegas now. Downtown Las Vegas, at a restaurant called Barry's. His name is Chef Barry Daycake. It's the hottest place in Vegas right now. Anyone, all the celebrities go there. My last visit, when I go there, he's bringing me around like I'm the president, in the kitchen and everything. This is the man that made me who I am. So it's such an honor.
So it's kind of like what the man at the lumberyard.
Yeah.
That's what he did for you.
Yeah. That's what he did to me.
Yeah, and you're doing it for others.
Yeah.
So how do we get into promoting boxing and MMA? Because you're one of the only promoters that does both.
Yes.
Right? Can you tell me?
National promoter.
National promoter. Yeah.
Right.
Tell me about that.
Well, as we're developing the boxing here, the first show we did was at Rocky Point Palladium, which now is closed. You remember Rocky Point?
I was a child, but yes, I do remember going. Yeah.
Okay. So it was a great experience because I said we're going to take an opportunity and we're going to get in the promotion rank. We went to Rocky Point, and my first show I promoted, I lost $28,000.
I read that in Ring Magazine.
Yeah, I lost $28,000.
What were you thinking then?
I had to relinquish my judgeship because it's a conflict of interest. He said, I wonder if I could get my judgeship back. So, but here we go with perseverance. The guy said, I'm not quitting. Boy, did that make me stone broke. That hit made me stone broke.
And back then, that's way more than $28,000.
Yeah, I mean, it made me stone broke. Some hard-earned money that just in one night went. And
what do you think you did wrong in that? I mean, obviously, whenever you do any kind of new endeavor, there's a lack of information. The stuff you don't know, but you don't know it.
Well, I mean, as a promoter, what I know now and what I knew then, forget about it. I mean, I would have done it so much different, you know?
What's the one biggest change you would have made?
I didn't market the event properly. I don't think, all I was interested in is just putting 8 fights together and not realizing, hey, you need popular fighters. They got to be from maybe Rhode Island or wherever you're doing this show, Springfield, Mass, or Boston, Mass. You got to get a nucleus of talent, okay? They can sell tickets. No, I just thought, hey, we're going to promote a show, put 8 fights together. Oh, one thing that happened that night, at that time, matchmaking was so much different than it is now. So I get this broker from New York. He gets a van, takes me in 6 opponents, okay, in a van, coming to Providence, gets in an accident. All the fighters ended up in the hospital. So I got 6 fights not made. We got 2 fights. I don't know how to put it. I got fighters, but I had to pay a lot more money.
Okay.
And again, them were fighters from Virginia. Who's going to buy a ticket to see them fight? They were lopsided fights. You know, a lot of mistakes. And the way I had the, like the positioning of audio and and lighting and everything. There was no that I have a DJ to keep the excitement going in the arena. No.
All stuff you know now.
All stuff I know very well now.
And I think that's the challenge when running your own business. If you didn't come up in that business, right? So if you had opened a lumbar yard, you would have known everything.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But if you go into another business, you might have some skills.
Yeah.
But if you don't know the ins and outs of that business, it's going to take you a little bit.
It takes quite a while,
right?
Yeah.
But then if you have the personality like you do and the perseverance, you're going to learn from that.
Oh yeah.
And be like,
Yeah.
So we lost the 28,000.
Yeah.
Was there a moment where you were like, this is too much, I want to give up? And then you kind of clicked out of it and were like, I'm going to keep going? Or...
even with the $28,000 hit, I never said to myself, I thought about my judgeship, but I never, judging wasn't a weekly thing. You get an assignment maybe every 1 or 2 months. It wasn't enough that you could live on. Okay, great experiences because I'm in Germany, Italy, France, all over the place. Great experiences to see these countries and everything that you don't know. But I never said I'm not going to promote it. I never said that. I said I'm going to sit down and see why I lost 28,000. How am I going to do this smarter? How am I going to do this better? Because the next show I do, I have to make that $28,000 back.
Sure.
Or some of it anyway.
And did you?
Yes. Yes, I did.
And was that the win you needed to keep going?
I needed that win. I got maybe 14,000 back on the first show. But I knew
it's possible.
It's possible, and I knew how to do it now. Not all the answers, but I know.
Well, I mean, I think even now you're going to still figure things out.
Oh yeah, you have to.
When's the last event you ran?
Well, we did an event at this new location, the historic Park Theater.
Okay.
Which was a new venue.
Yep, in Cranston.
We learned something from that.
That's what I'm saying, right? Yeah. You're still going to learn things each way. So you have now for CES Boxing, Classic Entertainment Sports, is it?
Yep.
All over New England, but you keep Rhode Island as the base.
Yeah.
Is there a reason for that?
Because I love Rhode Island. It's where I was born, where I was raised.
That's that loyalty again.
Yeah. Being loyalty sometimes gets in the way, but I'm a very loyal person. And yeah, I love Rhode Island. And it's been interesting because right to this day, we are the only national sports franchise, professional franchise in Rhode Island. That's it. Okay? And I can't say that just in New England. We've done fights all over the world. We've done a fight in Germany with 81,000 people there.
Now, how do you go from running New England events to be like, hey, I think I should run one in Germany?
Well, again, it's timing and luck, and it's maybe doing it with another promoter. Okay. And I always try to show respect. So we're going to do an event in Virginia. I'll get who is that promoter in Virginia. We'll make them part of the show. Okay.
Yep. Smart.
Yeah. We'll always show that respect in it. But there's nothing like home cooking. I mean, if we're in Rhode Island, an unfortunate challenge comes up, you know who to call.
Yeah, right.
And usually that person's going to take your call. So it's I love being home. I love being home. I've done more successful events in other states, right? We just did a show at Foxwoods Casino. We sold out. We're doing a show at Mohegan Casino. Okay. I think Bally's in Twin River has to be a little more home friendly right now. Okay. And sometimes it's not always about the money side,
What's it about?
It's community. You know, if I have something that I know I can help your business with, I'm going to help you because you're Rhode Island as well.
Right.
Okay, and
I think being the smallest state,
yeah,
you definitely get some pride of being from Rhode Island, right? Like I feel like if we were from Texas, yeah, you might like Texas, but like Rhode Islanders are the smallest state in the union.
Yeah.
And you almost feel some pride when they're from Rhode Island and they've done this, they've done that.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. I think the success, even, you know, sometimes it's just, listen, the way the NCAA basketball finals just ended up, I was rooting for University of Connecticut. Okay? Just because it's our next door neighbor. You know, and I think that as a promoter, you think you have a great event plan, and you're hoping to sell it out. You're hoping that you can sell it out when no one else can get in.
Yep.
That's the greatest advertisement.
When you say no one else can get in, you mean
It's sold out.
okay? Just yeah.
Right? We just did that at Fox's with an MMA show.
Yep.
Couldn't get no more people in there. People next time they'll get tickets earlier.
I got you.
Okay? So, and even to this day, going back to the classic restaurant, knowing where you want to sit,
yeah,
what you like, from your watch out. You only want 2 ice cubes in this drink. And the first drink is really drink it fast.
Who's writing all this stuff down? Did you have like a guy watching people and like?
I kind of, in the infancy, I was hands-on.
I got you.
I was hands-on.
So you just have the notebook with you right now.
Listen, to this day, I write notes even while I'm sleeping. It gets a little scary because the next morning I wake up, I can't understand what I wrote down sometimes. But it's paying attention.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep. So
many people will walk into a room, okay? A light bulb is out. They won't see it. If I walk into a place and a light bulb is out, I go back there the next day and that same light bulb is out, someone's going to get fired.
Yeah.
All right? And I try to share this with my grandchildren. You got to see the whole field at all times. You got to see what other people don't see. You want to be the best? Then get alert and see the whole field.
Yeah, and being the best doesn't mean that you do something 20% of the time. It means that you have to try to be the best 100% of the time.
100. That's
right?
That's,
even if you're not.
That's the only time that you're going to be the best, because you got to be the best 100% of the time. Like you just said, you're not going to get the 100%, but you get 90%. It's so easy. It's so easy. And listen, we have different generations. We have the millennials think a certain way. But if they can put the old school values with the millennial thinking, nothing's going to stop them.
Yeah, I think that'd be a great evolution.
Yes.
Maybe the next generation does do that.
Exactly.
Because what's old is new again.
Yes.
Right? And when you talk about, I often wanted to, I have my grandmother on the podcast, so she's Italian.
Yeah.
The last name's Palazzo. Yeah. And what I definitely learned from her is like, everything she does, she wants it to be perfect.
Yeah.
Whether it's, people used to fuss on me, my friends, because like my jeans would be ironed. Yeah. But so they have like the line straight down. Yeah. The way she cleans the house, the way she does the bedroom, like, the sheets.
Your grandmother.
My grandmother. Oh yeah, she's like a 93-year-old Italian.
Now, she was taught that. Yeah. See, she was taught that. The values that she has, try her best to pass it on. Yeah. And I'm sure as cooking, when she'd make a gravy and you could smell that aroma throughout the whole house, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about cooking, so there wouldn't just be like a couple dishes. Right. This whole table we fill with food. I know. Right? There'd be 4 of us there. Yeah. I'd like, Grandma, who's going to eat this food? Yeah. And again, you know this because you're Italian. Yeah. It doesn't matter how much you eat. your Italian grandmother's going to be like, you need anything.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's so much food. But talking about family, so your wife, Joanne,
Yeah.
you've been married for how many years? A long time?
A long time.
Okay. I always say it's extremely important, especially as anybody, but especially as an entrepreneur, to marry the right woman in this case, because if you marry the wrong woman, it has the chance to destroy you. If you marry the right woman who's going to stand by you, now listen, basically the definition of an entrepreneur is risk. We take risk.
We take risks every day.
The person that you're around the most is your wife.
Yeah.
They influence you the most.
Yes.
Can you speak about her and how she's helped you and how important it was for you to pick her as your wife through this whole, losing $28,000? Be like, hey, you're going to work in this restaurant now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. I'm glad you asked it. I don't think I'd be who I am right now if it wasn't for my wife. Okay? The mother that she's been to my 3 children. We lost a daughter in between that was 6 weeks old. And no matter, think of the businesses that I choose. The restaurant business where I was away from home so much, and combat sports where I could go home, get a call that I gotta be in Mexico tomorrow. My wife would help me pack my bag. And I said, you can't go. What are you doing? The things I missed is being in the restaurant business and this business now was so many younger days when my children were playing ball or things. I wasn't at the games.
Do you regret that?
I regret it very much. I should have found a way to make the time to be there. But my wife was there.
Yeah.
My son Joey was a great athlete. He went to La Salle Academy, was a quarterback. I think when I look back, my wife and I talked about this a lot. It's one of our greatest memories of watching him play football at La Salle Academy. Okay? But my wife has given me the liberty to do what I had to do. But she also understood I'm trying to make it a benefit for my family. I'm trying to earn for my family. Try to give them something because my wife Julie came from a very Italian family, but they were very, I'm not saying poor, but they were poor. And so we kind of had I probably had a little tougher life than her, but she never lived in a project, but I did. But when I think of the things that she has done, when I come home at night, my dinner's ready, okay, how she took care of my children, how she takes care of her grandchildren now, they have a relationship that's unbelievable. They're like sisters, right? I come home and she could sign it since. Had a tough day today, huh? You want to tell me? Well, she could sense it. All right? Now, would I tell her about the 28,000? No.
It's probably smarter.
No. I wouldn't tell.
Is this the first time she's finding out?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't tell. But some of the, as you said a few moments ago, being in business is risky. All right? No risk, no reward either. Okay? I've done some great business situations where we're very risky and we hit home runs.
Yeah. Talking about that, so you brought in WWE superstar Dave Bautista into Rhode Island for his first and only MMA competition.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that?
Yeah. So, when it was brought to my attention with my team, they were all excited.
How does that come about?
It came about a relationship that we had with someone from Los Angeles, Hollywood, California, that had a relationship with Bautista. And when they were told that he wanted to do a professional fight, okay, the first one they thought about was us. So a lot of business relationships or talent-wise is listen, you're a therapist, and I like how we converse with each other. I'm going to recommend you. Okay? So anyone that knows boxing or MMA and has a relationship with me, they know that I'm a man of my word. Okay? There's no phony baloney about me.
Well, people do business with the people they like.
That's correct. So the first person that came to us, my team is trying to say to me, this guy sold out the dump center. That's what it was called.
That's our big civic center.
Yeah. You sure? I don't follow wrestling.
All right.
Right. So anyway, we did it. And I just almost got beat. Okay. He got rocked. And we lost a lot of money. Okay, we didn't sell half of the civics in there.
Was that one of the only times you listened to other people versus your instinct?
No, I will always listen to people. I will listen to you no matter how crazy of an idea you have. Okay? I don't want to be any part of a carnival act. I should not be disrespectful. I thought MMA was a carnival act.
Well, you came from the boxing world.
Right.
And for a while, MMA and boxing were at heads.
Yeah, and I said, it's just another, look at this slap thing right now, right? And
slap boxing.
Yeah, and I say,
or slap fighting. Right?
I don't want to be part of that stuff.
Yeah, I'd stay away from that.
Right. I mean, any of that stuff. So I don't want to be part of MMA. Now, remember one of the greatest moves that UFC did is they hired Marc, who was one of the most respected commissioners in the world from Las Vegas. He did all the big fights. They can't get into some states to pass their law.
Yep.
There were 8, 9, 10 states they couldn't get in. Never thinking that Marc would ever leave boxing. Okay? Dana White and that crew got him. He left. He went and talked to all the commissioners that wouldn't pass it in their state. He said, well, just tell me why. Well, this rule, that is too barbaric. Right? What would make you, remember now, this guy was the president of the ABC. So he's the president of all the commissioners. Brilliant move, didn't it? And it got passed in all the states. Took a while with New York and stuff.
Yeah,
it wasn't passed here. For Rhode Island. To be honest with you, I was one of the people that was lobbying undercover not to pass it. Because I figured it's going to destroy my boxing business.
Yeah.
Right? And finally, when I seen it wasn't going away, damn, we got to get into this. We got to check this out. I spent thousands of hours, thousands of dollars with every MMA promoter in all of the Northeast region, not only New England. And I narrowed it down after I did all of this with 2 different companies. Okay? And I said, listen, I want to hire you as a consultant. We're going to open up an MMA division. Okay? And what happened was, I'm telling you, I spent some serious time. Now we have a contract with, at that time, Twin River Casino. We're doing boxing. I went and lobbied in the state of Rhode Island. I went and lobbied in Massachusetts, in Connecticut, on behalf of MMA. Yep. Finally get it passed. I bring it to Twin River. They said, Jimmy, we love you. You can do all the boxing you want. It's too barbaric. Right? He said, listen, just give me one opportunity to do one show. I went crazy to get it passed. But fast forward, we did a show. You might have thought, I'm so proud of my team because I believe that I have the most intelligent, young, aggressive educated team that run my company. Okay? You can take Jim Burchfield, but without my team, you can't do this. Okay? And we executed this first MMA event, sold out at Twin River Casino. Went as far as the temperament, because they were worried about fights in the arena. Okay, we're going to put the lights up brighter. Okay, we're going to do this and do that. Just like I kind of bring who I am. I'm kind of like in this business of combat sports. I'm kind of an expert, but I've earned it. You got to pay your dues. Right. So if you have a sickness and you want to get another opinion, my son who's an attorney, he's defending a case. He needs an expert witness. That's what you got to go do. Okay? So when we went into this, I covered every base. I mean everything. These other people who were promoting, they were doing it underground. They weren't regulated. Okay? Like one guy 150 fighting a guy 200. You can't do that. They didn't have to get medicals. They didn't have to get blood work. They didn't have to do it. I was doing that for 25 years.
Yeah. So you brought over what you learned from promoting boxing into the MMA.
100%. Yeah. And our boxing name and brand helped us an awful lot with MMA.
Now, are you doing boxing and MMA on the same card?
No.
Okay.
No.
Could you?
You could.
Different audiences?
I think that there are a couple of promoters that do the MMA in a boxing ring.
Okay.
They just add another rope at the bottom. It's not the same feel.
No, if you're grappling, you also slide out the ring.
Right. It's not the same feel. Have I thought about it? Yeah. Have I tried to go another way and say, listen, let's try to get the demographics to change here. Let's even say we are doing an MMA show, a boxing show. You get 20% off your ticket by coming to both events. Okay? Or making the MMA fighters all come to the boxing show and show their support. And making the boxers all go to an MMA show. And we've been into that a little bit. But the demographics are much different.
As far as who's watching what?
Yeah.
Who's watching boxing?
There's an older demographic.
Okay, makes sense.
The younger demographic, you could talk to an 18, 20-year-old youngster right now, they can tell you all the MMA fighters. You ask one of them, who is the world heavyweight champion of boxing? They can't tell you.
Do you think it hurts boxing that there's so many different belts?
I think there are things that listen, we still can get, if you're putting a good boxing event together with a talented match, no matter. Okay. You're gonna sell out an arena. Okay? But you're gonna have to work a little harder because you gotta put them competitive fights together.
So it's really all about the matchmaking.
That's what it is. Okay. And then you got the political arena where one promoter has got this fighter and the other promoter has this fighter. And because they're stubborn and they don't want to think of business, they won't make each other fight. But it's a fight the fans want to see. So Dan, take your gloves off and let's put the fight together.
Yeah.
You got to do more of that.
And so speaking about promoters, I think probably someone who doesn't get enough credit would be Vince McMahon for what he did for the WWE. Again, taking a risk with the WrestleMania, putting his whole life savings into it. But even in my lifetime, taking it from, his family business to now selling to Endeavor, who's the group that owns the UFC, which is probably a brilliant move on both sides.
Spectacular.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that. But one of the lines that they always say is he does what's best for business. right? And when I run my business, I think about that. Like, what is best for business? Because at the end of the day, as a business owner, I have to protect the business, right? And when you're talking about like these promoters having, well, what's best for boxing or what's best for MMA? Let them go.
Yeah.
Right. But do you have any thoughts on him selling the company?
Well, you said something that what's best for business. First of all, when we're talking about our earliest situation about marketing, he's a genius. What they put together with WrestleMania, he's a genius. Okay? What the UFC has done on their end of stuff, okay? The owners, the new owners that Endeavor, they're brilliant. And they got their money to back it up. They're not going to look at buying the WWE if the study and the forecast, you want to talk about having brilliant people around you, you realize the dollar difference in that whole thing?
Such as?
I mean, it's billions. It's not millions. It's
right.
Billions. Okay? Now, whether it's unfair or not, how are you ever going to compete with what they're doing?
Well, no, you can't.
You can't.
Right? And I think both brands, listen, there's a lot of stuff that Vince McMahon did that innovated a lot of things. When he did the XFL, he introduced the overhead camera in football games, which the NFL now uses.
Yeah.
Right? But now, if you got like the UFC and WWE, again, probably a lot of crossover in the audience too.
Yeah.
But there could be things that the WWE is doing that the UFC is not, that they can bring in. You know what I'm saying? So you can now expedite different advances in both brands. Obviously, you could have crossovers too.
Yeah.
Right? Because UFC brands could go over.
I just think you got to be intelligent enough in business that, and whether you say, well, McMahon did this for a reason. Yeah, he did it for a reason. I think if you have a business and you can get a partnership like that, you damn better pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Okay? So I think it's a brilliant.
We've had a long history promoting boxing. Any favorite fighters that you work with? Obviously, you work with Peter Manfredo, Vinny Pazienza. Vinny Pazienza fought, is it Roy Jones?
Yeah.
That was Roy Jones Jr. That was a big fight. Any of your favorite stories from any of your fighters?
Yeah, I think that I'd have to pick Peter Manfredo. Was a special fighter right there. His arm around me. I think the Contender Series that was on ESPN really helped his career. Gary Tiger Boletta was an exceptional fighter. Him and Vinny Paz probably weren't born with the greatest of talent, but their heart and their courage were unbelievable. And I think it's some of these guys that you say, how did you make this through all obstacles, whether it be COVID, no matter what? You kept this program going of boxing in Rhode Island. Yeah. How could you do this?
Yeah, because you couldn't run events.
Well, it's these guys. Okay? I'm talking, we still got patch closed right now from COVID. Okay? You got casinos who can't get enough help. So they're not calling their commissioners who regulate us back to work yet. Okay? We still have people, fans, that won't go into a crowded area. All right? And what has this done, not only in combat sports, whether it be any business right now? You know what? Our fixed expenses of doing an event have gone up 20-25%. How much are we going to raise the ticket price? Can't. Yeah. These are the challenges we have right now.
As a businessman, and this might be a little off topic, that's one of the things I don't, and maybe it's my limited brain, but like when you say that you want to raise the minimum wage, right? And you have business owners like us. Well, what that means for someone like me is either A, I raise my service price, right? Or B, I lay people off.
Yeah.
Because I need to pay people more,
Yes.
right? And I know like California is like outrageous. You know, they want the minimum wage to go up. And I understand the need and the want for people to want to make more money. My response to that would be like, hey, go get more skills that make you more valuable in the workplace versus relying on the government to just give you this. But I don't understand, like, and maybe you have a different understanding of this. If you raise the minimum wage, it's not going to fix things because things are going to be more expensive. People are going to lose jobs. Do you have any thoughts on that as a businessman?
Yeah, I think you hit on it a little bit. I think that coming out of the hospitality business as well, okay, is the minimum wage goes up, all right? I think you need to earn that, whether it be with further your education and experience and whatever, to not just be, whether it be at McDonald's or any other place. I'm not being disrespectful to anyone, okay? Because all of that's them consequences are going to raise the prices. And I stopped at a place the other morning for breakfast, and on the table is that everything that's got eggs in it is $3.50 higher than what's on the menu. Okay? I mean, to go shopping right now and look at eggs is $7, $8, $9 a dozen. You try to buy fresh produce or anything, right? My wife's been having some trouble with her back, so I've been going shopping. I can't even imagine some of these prices. There's a little thing, it's called peppercide, that if you have acid reflux, it's like Tums, which may be a step above. A little bottle like this, $29. It's crazy.
Because everything goes up.
Yeah.
Right?
So we take on our fixed costs. Our fixed cost is commission costs, doctors, referees, judges, okay? All of that to look at raising that price up $3,000 or $4,000 a bet, insurance $3,000 or $4,000 a bet. So now all of a sudden you got maybe $20,000 more of fixed costs. Now, that's not counting the purses for the fighters and everything. You're gonna make a ticket like $150, the cheapest ticket.
Yeah, no one's gonna go.
No one will go.
How do you balance that?
Our way we're trying to balance it is by bringing and showing a potential sponsor that if they came in and joined with us as a sponsor, and we give them exclusivity, whether it be a plumbing company or a heating company, or electrical company, or whatever, right? And we can show them that their dollars they spend with us, they're going to get it back in the marketing way we're going to do their company.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we're attempting to do. Just trying to keep the tickets at a balance. Just cannot afford to raise all of these fixed costs. But showing a sponsor, listen, you can be part of MMA and boxing. We can make you own the arena.
Yeah, sure.
All right? That's how we're trained.
Smart.
Yeah.
Right? To not put it on the consumer, but put it on people
Exactly.
where you can network. So for you, what advice would you give to younger people, either A, who want to get into entrepreneurship, run a business, or B, who just want to make their life better? What tips would you give to them?
So I think there's nothing, I mean, it's got to be in you, because some people are more comfortable just going to work for someone, 9 to 5.
And that's okay.
That's fine. I have no problem with that. They're going to get their pay at the end of the week. They're going to get some benefits, and it's good. They get some overtime once in a while, okay? But what advice would I give to a young person? There's nothing like owning your own business.
I agree.
Okay? Listen, I have financial risk. I mean, I've done events where I've worked 8 or 10 weeks with no money coming in for them 8 or 10 weeks. And then the show, we don't sell it out. And we lose money on that event. So there's been no income for 10 or 12 weeks. But think of the time where you hit a home run, a grand slammer. Damn, there's no feeling like it. You have an event, you can see everyone happy. The room is electrified. Okay?
And you're the one responsible for bringing that to fruition.
Yes. So, and I just think to a young person is no matter what you choose, whether it's that 9 to 5 or whether you want to go in business yourself, okay, that just be the best of yourself. Give it everything you got. Because you might be the 9 to 5 person as a start, and then you may take a few more years to get over here to the business side. But if you've got the initiative, you will get there. Yeah. And what you learned here 9 to 5 will be helpful over here. So listen, the youth they're our future leaders, and I want to pass on everything I know to them. Okay? I give a lot of speeches. I give a lot of motivational speaking. But I go to speak to troubled youth quite a bit, because anger management is an awful lot with troubled youth. And in that ringing cage, that anger management is taught how you can share that, how you can do that. We went to Fall River a couple of years ago. There's a school that you can't stay in high school. You're not teachable.
So they put you to another school?
Yes. That's your attention deficit. In other words, and not only to another school, but half of these kids don't even know who their mom and dad are. It's really bad. I brought Doomsday Howard from the UFC, MMA, in our MMA division, and him and I went to speak. They couldn't get over it. There were about 65 of these kids, right? And you could hear a pin drop. We had their attention. The principal and the teachers could not get over it. And I took some of these kids, wherever they were from, and I paid for some of their membership to go to gyms and to take up boxing, take up MMA. Listen, I don't know how many of them kids we helped. I know we helped some of them.
What do you think it was in your message that captivated them?
I think that on Doomsday's side, because he had been to the big show in the UFC and that he was local, he got their attention from that. My attention was, hey, you know what? I'm one of you guys.
Yeah, I made it.
I said, I want you to understand, I'm one of you guys. I lived in projects. Okay? I had to fight for a lot. And look at where I am. I got through it.
So kind of giving him that hope.
Yeah.
Right, that there's another path you can take.
Exactly.
Do you think that's one of the biggest things about following your passion, is that when you follow your passion, it leads you to the place you really want to be, right? But it also shows other people that there's another option out there. Most people nowadays are living disempowered lives.
Yes.
Right? But then there's that subset of humanity who's like following their passion, following their excitement, doing what makes them alive. And you get to see, oh, he's doing that. at least it makes it possible in someone's mind that, I could follow Jimmy Burchfield and do what he's doing. I don't have to just do this. Do you think that's one of the more powerful things about really following your passion and taking those risks as an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I think that following your passion is kind of what young people you have to embed that into them, but you also have to say to follow your passion, there's going to be disappointments at times. Okay? You got to be strong enough to get off the canvas. There's going to be roadblocks. There's going to be them things, but that passion, once you get through that, and you can end up where and practice your passion, there's nothing like it.
Live your passion.
Yeah, there's nothing like it.
The last question I just want to ask you, how important do you think it is to have a coach or mentor in your life? And do you have any coaches or mentors now, or are you the mentor and the coach?
I think it's one of the most important things in the world is to have a coach and mentor. Okay? I think that everyone that wants to be someone and that wants to be the best at who they are is got to have a coach and mentor, right? Myself right now, I think I'm more on the coach mentoring side. I continue to, I want to learn, and I want to learn other things. You know what I love?
What do you love?
When I'm working out and I'm walking, I look at nature. See, look at these flowers blooming right now. And at a certain time, all the leaves come off the trees. Right? We got poison ivy. If you ever had poison ivy, it's bad. I had like a 9-year run of poison ivy.
You should probably stay out of the weeds then.
Yeah. Why haven't we destroyed poison ivy? How do bees make honey? And I say to myself, I wish that when I was younger, I would have studied nature more. Because it's wonderful.
Do you think that's one of the benefits of getting older, is that your perspective changes?
I think the older you get, yeah. Listen, when I was playing ball, my young days, I'd run through a barbed wire fence to catch the ball.
Yeah.
I mean it.
I just let it go.
No, I just stopped.
Like, can you get that?
Well, when I started stopping, I knew it's time I should stop playing ball.
Yeah.
Because you still have to go through. You still got to get that ball.
Or someone else can get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think you become a little smarter.
Yeah.
And with age. And listen, I enjoy nothing more right now. Seriously, I've traveled so much that I don't like to travel anymore. And I enjoy my home with my wife, my children, my grandchildren more than ever. Okay? It's a high for me to have everybody together on a Sunday. You know? I feel so good when I can have them all together. And I have a couple of my grandchildren, you know, like one is living in New York now, and the other one is in law school. My son Jimmy's second daughter. I have another one that's at University of Connecticut. And I see the one in New York, how much you paying for your rent? 3,100, something like that. Jeez. Your mother and father got a beautiful house. You got your own bedroom. You won't pay no rent. When you coming home?
Yeah. Well, Jimmy, I definitely enjoyed this interview.
I did too.
Yeah, it was definitely great to get to know you. I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And when's your next event? Do we already have it planned?
Yeah, we have two coming up. One is April 22nd. We actually have three. We have April 22nd at one of the biggest and best casinos in the world.
This is 2023.
This is all 2023. It's a Saturday night at Bochner Casino. That's boxing. We're back at the historic Park Theater, which I think people are going to love. It's a different kind of atmosphere, theater seating, and we're developing that for the younger fighters, right? We're just doing boxing there right now. We're back there May 20th. And then we have a big MMA event on the North Shore Theater on the other side of Boston. And if any of our listening audience remembers the Warwick Musical Theater, it's in the round, beautiful setup. It's not a bad seat in the whole place. So we get a pretty aggressive schedule. But we still, with this path of COVID, we're still fighting and getting through some stuff where at the infancy of a year, like at the end of 2022, we have our entire schedule for 2023. We're still not able to do that with this COVID situation, okay? Where that would help, where you go to a potential sponsor and you're giving them 10 days, they get more enthused about that.
Sure. Versus here's one.
Yeah. Well, at this point, we're working hard to get through that. And so listen, the challenges are still very heavy. Don't forget, we ran almost 3 years with no events. We didn't lay anyone off.
That's impressive.
Yeah, and then we did 2 events that the governor said don't have no fans. So we did them at Crown Plaza in their tent, no fans. Then the governor said, we'll make you do an event, but it's got to be outside. So we went to Cranston Stadium. All of them events cost us money.
Yeah.
Every one of them. But I can see that with the team that I have, they're innovators, like I've been. And they're educated. And they're hungry. And they're young. So we're going to do some great things.
You sound like you're excited.
I am excited. Yeah, I am.
Well, again, I wish you all the best.
Thank you.
And, shout out to my father for putting this together.
Your father's a great man.
I definitely agree with that.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Well, here's our World Championship gloves, boxing. And look at these little mitts for MMA. So when you look at an MMA event, you can see the difference in a boxing cushion and an MMA cushion. And this right here, this is a World Championship WBC belt. World Championship. It's heavy. And on here, again, is Roy Jones, Mike Tyson, the great Muhammad Ali, and then Mauricio Suleiman, Vinny Paz, and they put my picture on here. So the WBC, I believe, I may get in trouble with this, but I gotta say how I feel. It's the biggest and best sanctioning body in boxing.
And now you wear that around the house, right?
No.
Hello, my name is Dr. Marc Bochner. Don't forget to check out my new book, Pug Learns to Believe. Hey guys, Dr. Marc here. Now I know a lot of you want to know how we get all these amazing results with our clients, and it comes down to 3 things. The first is fun fitness classes that burn a lot of calories. 2 is giving you an accountability coach to make sure you stay on track and get the best results. And 3 is the nutrition. Included in the nutrition is our food supplement. So we pair with Prestige Labs because I feel they are the best, they have integrity, and they get great results. These are actually the supplements that I take as well. Here's the awesome part. By clicking the link below, you can save 40% off the retail price. So you need that link to actually save 40%. If you just go to the normal site without my link, you're paying full price, okay? So these are the supplements my clients use. If you are interested, definitely click the link below and it'll tell you all about them.